Hey, good evening. What's up? It's Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. I've got the Miami coral cam up right now, and wow, what's some really cool fish. A whole different view than they normally have down there. I guess someone moved the camera a little bit, but take a look at all those sergeant majors and everything. Well, I've got today's report going out a little bit later than normal. Had some construction work being done here, actually tenting the windows of the offices at our building, and was getting that done. Not to mention, I kind of wanted to follow and see what happens with the markets today. It looks like the equities markets took a total dive today. I mean, not to be unexpected. I mean, who didn't expect this kind of movement? What was surprising is that it was as large as it was, and I guess the big question is going to happen. Be what's going to happen tomorrow. Would it continue to do that? I got a sneaking suspicion that the Fed and the government's going to come in and step in and try to a dead cat bounce tomorrow to some degree, or reduce the hemorrhaging that you were looking at today. So maybe you'll see something bounce back. If it doesn't, all bets are off. It's kind of interesting to see what's going on here. Man, I'm enjoying this camera today. You don't really see this angle of the Miami Coral cam here. And by the way, one of the really cool cams down there, you can take a look, Coral City Camera, Miami's underwater live stream. Let's get into prices here. And you know what? Naomi Judd said this, okay, but still it's very cool. And we all know this change is the one thing we can be sure of. And I guess, that's the old adage, change is inevitable. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing changes in the market structures. We're seeing changes in precious metals. We're seeing changes in governments. We're seeing changes in our world rapidly, too, way faster than normal. Things are seeming to be kind of accelerating out there. Hey, let's talk about gold and silver prices first, man. There's some yo-yo shit going on that I'm seeing. Gold still holding pretty well. And as soon as I say that, it'll get monkey hammered sub 1800. But she's holding on to this $1,800 level, as I suspected, pretty darn well. We were in the $1,900 level for a little while there, but there's a lot of belief. If you take a look at gata.org, I sincerely believe that the Fed does secretly go in, and central banks do secretly go in and lower the price of gold. I think there's also an additional element involved here that China and Russia have larger gold reserves. They're going to be probably counting on those gold reserves more than they ever have, putting a lot of emphasis on, higher gold prices, which is probably what China and Russia want to see. I know if I'm wrong on that, someone let me know in the comment sections, but you would think that China and Russia would want to see higher gold prices. Again, perhaps I'm wrong on that. No less, we're at war with Russia right now, so why wouldn't? And gata.org talks about central banks, European and Western central banks, manipulating the price of gold, not silver. Really, they're not involved in manipulating the price of silver prices. As far as we know, Ted Butler doesn't believe that either. But I am pretty certain that gata.org is correct on their manipulation of the gold market. But no less, still, looking compared to the equities and stock markets and even the crypto markets and other markets, gold is looking pretty good. Interesting comment made today, too, is that gold is up in every other market except in the U.S. dollar, okay? So gold is in a bull market in every currency except for U.S. dollar right now. And we're going to get into that in a second. What does that mean? What does dollar strength mean? What does the dollar index mean, the DXY? We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's take a look at the swings here. Silver is still being monkey hammered in the COMEX markets, the CRIMEX markets, in my opinion. And there's some interesting stuff going on here, too, with silver. I believe that that perhaps COMEX and might be kind of catching on that they need to end this type of manipulation in their silver markets, or maybe I'm just being optimistic about this, but a lot of stuff bubbling up there. Well, let me get it back to gold. 1808 looks like trying to get it close to that sub 1800 level, but it has not happened. 1824 the high, kind of bouncing in between there today. Currently sitting in 1808 on the world markets, after New York closed. Where did New York close at? Let's just take a quick look here. 1815, so on the lower side in the Crimex markets, 2153 and 924. How does that compare up here? Actually, the aftermarkets in silver are lower at 2144, I'm sure, on the Crimex or the Globex markets. 921 platinum. Platinum's held its own pretty good here. Palladium kind of looking at near the price of gold here, man. There's some crazy shit going on. Palladium's uses are a lot in catalytic converters, I believe, and what else? Other industry uses too. We're seeing the canary in the gold mine or the canary in the coal mine that's telling us that industry is going to take a giant shit here, or something along those lines, with palladium being down as far as it is. Platinum, I think, has already hit its lows at the sub 900, but let me knock on my wooden head. You never know. And again, take a look at silver, 2144, high at 2177 today, a low at 2140. Let's take a look at the 24-hour charts here that I like to use Kitco, because they do provide a good 24-hour chart with 3 different timelines for the last 3 days. Let's see, 1810 kind of before New York opened this morning. Looks like it was up in the New York markets overall after getting kind of monkey hammered down here in the evening New York Globex markets. And sideways after that, again, holding on to that $1,800 level. Let's move over to silver. Silver, the same thing. After getting monkey hammered for the last 2 or 3 weeks, seems to be stable. See the green line right here? And did I do a refresh? I think I did a refresh. I lost. Yeah, I did. All right, and drifting a little bit downward. As you can see, after the New York here, New York closed a little bit higher, or there's your New York close right there, Crimex close, and then drifting a little bit down in the evening markets. To me, which again is really strange, why would silver drift down in the evening markets like this? There's no good reason silver to be down, other than, as Ted Butler points out all the time, it's simply big short positions out there, driving these prices down on the COMEX markets. And there's some other things as well that are driving these prices down, but none of it organic, in my opinion, nor Ted's opinion as well. And again, Ted, I speak like he's a good friend of mine. Actually, I read his newsletter, and he's pretty good at this stuff. Dollar index, folks. What's kind of interesting is what I said a little bit earlier. Is there is a bull market in gold in every other currency except for the dollar. Dollar, there seems to be a bear market, and that's because, take a look at this. I mean, let's take it. Look at dollar. Now, a lot of people confuse the dollar index with dollar strength. Oh, the dollar is getting stronger. The dollar is getting stronger. But let's be reminded. I mean, that's the basic narrative, the simpleton narrative that they give to the general public. Dollar stronger. Look at the DXY. But what they don't tell you, it's not really stronger in this, which we call the consumer price index, or the purchasing power of the consumer dollar. It's not stronger in this. And take a look at this. This is a chart since 2013. Look at the buying power of the dollar since 2013. Folks, they're going to try to blame this, the purchasing power of the dollar declining rapidly. They're going to try to blame it on, first it was what? The Critter 19, they're going to blame it on. Then they're going to blame it on, now it's Russia. Okay, I forgot, I'm sorry, it's Russia currently that the blame is going to get thrown on. But the truth of the matter is, take a look at this. Take a look at the buying power of the U.S. dollar since, let's go to the maximum chart. Since 2000, since the Fed took over in 1913, and that's actually when IRS was created, it's been a free fall ever since, pretty much. A little roller coaster ride through here, through the war years, pre-war years, and after the Depression, and again, cycling out of Depression. There's World War I, but falling dramatically since then. Wars seem to be kind of pretty good for, let's take a look at the wartime here. Well, hold on, you got to get past a war before your economy gets better, so maybe we need a, I don't even want to say that. Well, all right. Overall trend, the purchasing power of the consumer dollar is down. I'll do the 1-year chart just to show you in case you don't believe me. Even 1 year, look at that. You can put your sled on that and have a nice ride downhill, folks. And so anyway, when they say dollar strength, it does not mean that the purchasing power of the dollar is better. It just simply means dollar strength compared to, where is it? I think I had that in there. Investopedia. Let me just take a look. I didn't put that chart up. Hang on one second. Investopedia. I like to look at their good stuff. Dollar index. Ready? I'm just going to type that in. And let's see what the dollar index actually is. Most of you know this. You can fast forward through here if you do. But what is the dollar index? The U.S. dollar index is a measure of the value of the U.S. dollar relative to a basket of foreign currencies. Again, this is where the confusion lay with many people. That the simpleton answered that the dollar is stronger, implying that the dollar buys more. Not true. It just implies that the dollar buys more compared to the other horses in the race to the glue factory. Okay, so there you go. The U.S. dollar. Let's take a look here, though. I love Investopedia. Investopedia is actually a great site. If there's ever words that you're not familiar with, it's a good place to go look and learn, because when you're reading articles, I don't care where they're from, financial articles, political articles, economic articles, financial, economic, same thing, but you should always, if there's a word that you don't understand, take the time, pause your video, and go look on Investopedia, or go look and see what the word does. Don't assume you know. It'll make you a much smarter person, and you'll understand the article better. And actually, the larger your vocabulary, the smarter you are, folks, and that's the truth. Okay, key takeaways. The U.S. dollar index is used to measure the value of a dollar against a basket of 6 foreign currencies: euro, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, British pound, and Swedish krona. I said corona. It's not a corona. Speaking of corona, got a nice red tonight. So, but krona, Swedish kronas. The index was established shortly after Bretton Woods Agreement dissolved in 1973 with a base of 100 and value since and relative to this base. The value of the index is a fair indication of the dollar's value in global markets. If you're not familiar with this is pretty cool. Just go to Investopedia, and what did I type in? I typed in, here, I'll show you. What did I type in? Investopedia dollar index, and there it is right at the top of the page. If you type in the same thing in your search engine, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You'll understand exactly what the dollar index is if you don't. But meanwhile, folks, it certainly does not mean this. It does not mean that you're going to buy more. This is an official website based on official numbers and U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the source. And these numbers are even skewed, so this line is probably even a larger angle to the downward trajectory. So sadly. But no less, here's the official numbers according to the U.S. government, and you can see the trajectory down, and the buying power of the U.S. dollar is downward, regardless. I mean, again, let's face it, folks. We've been talking about this for a long time. As long as we're in a fiat-driven economy, just like no fiat currency has ever survived longer than the U.S. dollar. We are pretty much the experiment right now. And history shows us that all fiat currencies eventually dissolve, go belly up, revalued, something. And that's what we're seeing right here, a revaluation. Simply, inflation is theft, as we said the other day. Inflation is basically a tax, it's theft, and this is what you're seeing right here. Again, even the 1-year chart, it's hard to see that decline once you get past 1980. And remember, folks, 1980 is where we started to really see that decline. We are even in a further, more accelerated decline right now. Take a look at the 1 year. But I'm not going to beat that horse up. I just wanted to let people know that thought dollar strength was, oh no, the dollar's up. That means gold's going to be a terrible investment. No, not even the slightest. Let's take a look at gold versus real yields even. This is based on official data. So I believe that these figures are even more skewed and make gold look even better than what it really does. But real 10-year Treasury yields, here's an odd thing. It's an inverted chart here. Higher yields would typically indicate that gold would go down in price, but we're not seeing that. You've seen that in gold inverted. Let's take a look at, there's the all chart. Let's get a little bit closer up and we can start to see this right here. There's your 10-year Treasury yield. As you can see, it's been going down, but even when it was going up, gold was going up as well. So the idea that, and you know why? We know why, because again, this is based on inflation-adjusted 10-year Treasury yield. The official rates is how they base this chart right here. And the official rates, as we know, don't reflect what real rates are. I mean, you know, they're saying inflation is what, 6-7%, maybe even higher. Some people say. I forget what the official government stance is, or the Fed stance is, on what the inflation rate is, or the official numbers are. I probably should look right now, but it's in that range, probably 6-7%, 9% on the high side. Boy, I haven't looked. I probably should. But in reality, it's probably closer to 12 and 15% if you measure it. And oh my gosh, I forgot. I still have that chart I gotta find. That new chart that measures it in the 1980 terms, but we're probably closer to 12-15% inflation rates, and we're going to see it even accelerated. They're talking about higher gas prices, higher oil prices. That indicates higher food prices. Even more scary are food shortages, folks. And you know what no one else is talking about right now, too, is a baby boomer population. Let's just talk about baby boomers here. Baby boomer. What is a baby boomer? A baby boomer is someone that is born after 1963, and let's take a look at what baby boomers. There's your boomers right there. That's the boomer I want to be. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but they look like they're having a good time. There they are. There's my favorite boomers. But here's your boomer generation, folks. Largest generation in our history. They're going to rely on government taking care of them. Like government told them that they would take care of them from cradle to grave with their Social Security when they get older. But you know what, folks? I know how much Social Security pays off. What's the maximum? I forget, but no less. You know, at some point, that's going to be pretty much freaking worthless. They don't have the money to pay it. They never have. Social Security's been an issue for a long time. So there's a whole bunch of black swans coming up here. You know, we're not even talking about. Let's move back to. Where is it? Gold versus real yields. So the idea that people would sell gold off because yields would increase, treasury yields and that kind of stuff. I'm sure bonds are not going to increase, but it is bull hockey, man. It's just pure bullshit. It may have occurred at one time when they are actually reporting real numbers, but if you take a look at this chart, you know, gold and silver, you know, are pretty much look like they're kind of, I mean, gold and silver, gold particularly, is moving in tandem with the treasury yields. And in fact, take a look at this. Treasury yields have dropped significantly, but they've risen here of recent as well. Hang on a second, listen. Real 10-year treasury term, May 2nd, 2022. Well, that's kind of interesting. I guess I kind of blowing smoke out my ass there by not really looking, smoke out my ass, bullshit out my, sorry. That is, the real yield is actually down there. Let's take a look, 0.19% from negative 1%. So the real yield, again, remember that's an inverted chart with the price of gold. So 0.19 at the moment. And gold, well, anyways, you know where I'm going with that. Dow to, kind of confused myself there for a second. It is, I'm not the greatest chart guy in the world, but Dow to gold ratio, take a look at this. This is a chart I never I never really watch, but we're starting to see the Dow to gold ratio change dramatically too. Look at, here, 1980, when gold price was at its all-time high. If you adjusted, even adjusted for inflation, gold was probably far higher than it is right now. At I think what's the high in gold? 2,000, 2,100. I should know that. But no less, take a look at this. The Dow Jones to gold ratio. Now you guys know how we do the gold to silver ratio. I'm going to show you. This ratio is similar to Dow Jones. All they do is divide one number to another. So here's the gold to silver ratio. We'll let Siri do it for us. 18.05 divided by 21.44.
The answer is approximately 84.7971.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make that so loud for you, but currently, wow, look at that gold and silver ratio, 85 to 1 right now, higher than it has been. And something else to take note of, folks, you guys that like to look at gold to silver ratios, is way out of whack tells me that either gold is too high or silver is too low. Maybe a little bit of both, but I think, again, silver is too low, in my opinion. But let's take, where was I going with that? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I got a little sidetracked there. And Dow to, and it's the same kind of thing. So if you took the current Dow price, let's look at what the Dow price is here. And that's what this is. It just divides that one number, the Dow, it divides the gold price into the Dow, and it tells you the ratio. 1980, when gold was at its highest and we were at a super inflation level, it was 1.3 to 1. Wow, that's kind of interesting if you think about it. What would 1.3 to 1 be with a Dow to gold ratio right now? That would indicate that gold would have to, holy crap, the Dow would have to be, in my opinion, go down to 5,000, and gold would have to go to 5,000 or close to that, 5,000. Dow would have to go to 8,000 to be at that level. But hey, maybe this is what we're looking at, 1980s style inflation and all that stuff. But the really cool chart, you can play around with it, Dow to gold ratio, 100-year historical chart. And by the way, as I always say, I do like the macro trends. They have a lot of really cool charts. Silver prices, 100-year historical chart. And let's see, I think this is also inflation adjusted as well. Let's see what they show the silver price at. They show take a look at that. Inflation adjusted, silver was $132 an ounce. I mean, that's fucking incredible, folks. Take a look. I mean, just think about that. 1980 inflation adjusted according to the official numbers. If you really took the real inflation numbers, it's probably much higher than that. $132 an ounce is what the high was for 1980 inflation adjusted numbers. We still haven't seen that 1980 high. However, I think we're starting to see a new 1980 all over again. I don't know what that means for the price of silver. Man. Well, anyways, I think it means much higher prices. Folks, misery index, which if you're familiar with it, it's been around for a long time. The red indicates inflation, the blue indicates employment levels. We haven't seen this type of movement in this chart under Biden's administration since the Carter days. Actually, prior to Carter, I think it was Ford, when you started to see this type of inflation and when you started to see unemployment rates this low. And of course, you know, under the Trump administration, here is your unemployment levels really high, low inflation, complete opposite now. Talk about yo-yos, holy shit. There you go, there's a yo-yo. The inflation index, you can look at, it's called the close your eyes, this will make you dizzy. And while I'm doing that, let me spin the coin. I've been missing the coin lately. That was a weak spin too. It's a damn bear as well. This is called the United States Misery Index. You can see miseryindex.us. I got the by month, but the misery index is really cool. A lot of cool data here. It's been accumulated for years, and I think economists use the misery index as well. And you should take a look at it because there's a lot of telling numbers here. There's a lot of things that are comparative to past days. And if you forget if you forget history, you forget your past, then you're doomed to repeat it. Is that what they say? Something similar to that. I should probably do that as a quote. Inflation is confiscation. I'd like to thank everyone for watching yesterday's video. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget, I advertised to beat JM Bullion on all their common products. I didn't do it tonight. It's the same thing, folks. If you want to know what the best deals are in gold and silver right now, just watch my video from every other day for the last 6 months, year, whatever. It's still generic 1 ounce, 10 ounce, and 100 ounce bars. But I'm going to start looking for some other products to tell you to buy as well. As far as gold, not as big of a shortage in gold products out there, and that makes a lot of sense. Gold, I still recommend buying bars over the sovereign products, but no less. I can beat APMEX, JM, and SD Bullion. I'm in South Florida, so if you live in South Florida and you're lucky and have a good dealer like me near you, by the way, if you don't live in my neighborhood, I can't sell to you. Please find yourself a good local dealer, not because APMEX, JM, and SD are bad, just because I'd rather see you keep that money in your state and your local communities. Let me get into it. And again, if you watch my videos, you know I talk about this all the time. I don't like sounding like a broken record, but I have to repeat some of this stuff for new viewers. And I'm hoping there's new viewers. Tree Climber, thank you for watching. I'm going to sort by newest first, see if there's any questions I can answer. Oh, God, there's a cryptocurrency spammer, Desi, bullshitter Mendez. Here, you know what we do with these guys? I usually report them, but I'm not sure if it removes them on this particular feature here. Michael, what's up? Itchy Balls, what's happening? Glad to see you're a new viewer here. Not afraid to say itchy balls. Said it twice today. Have a drink on that. John, when inflation hits the digital silver coin price, and yeah, very. See the second coming, at least for us silver stackers. Yeah, a silver stack. It's all about patience, John. I think you got the right attitude, sir. I know it's frustrating as well. I've seen your posts in the past, and of course I pay attention to everyone's posts. I read all these. Silver Liner, Welco, Silver Loving Lou, all you commenters out there that are people that I appreciate your comments, really. And people that watch my show, I appreciate your comments very much. And who can confiscate better than the Fed and the government? My favorite quote is by JP. Gold is the only real money. Everything else is debt. Like that quote too as well, sir. Welco Services. I still don't see Monkey Hammer merchandise, Brian. What do you? I just can't take credit for saying, the word Monkey Hammer. I heard it a long time ago. A lot of people say that I'm the guy that says it the most online on YouTube, but no less, monkey hammering, it does happen. Monkey hammering is real. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And actually, I'm drinking wine tonight. No coffee today. I did have coffee, but it's evening video. Let's take a look at the spot prices. Let's see if they change. I'm going to do a quick refresh, just static page. Ready? 1818, 2144. Down, sideways. I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to see up markets this week. They may even try monkey hammering it a little bit lower, especially with the hemorrhaging of these markets and the excuse that that the rates are going to go higher, and that should hurt the price of gold. However, if you watched and paid attention to what I just said in the last 20, 30 minutes, you know that's bullshit. It's just a good excuse for these commercial shorts to monkey hammer the markets on that kind of excuse bullshit news. And where are we? If gold drops, it may go to 1,400. I won't buy it till then. Gary, $1,400, man. There's no freaking way, in my opinion, unless we see a 2008 type collapse, and then premiums on gold eagles would be like $300 or something like that. But again, hey, you never know, man. Never underestimate these people. Thanks for watching, Gary. I appreciate it. Yeah, the whole manipulation thing in the COMEX, CRIMEX markets, in my opinion, the opinions of people that are smarter than me, is getting long in the tooth as well. Lou, hey, thanks for watching, dude. I appreciate that. I bought a random year budget gold sovereign from a reputable dealer in London. Got a 1918 limited Indian struck coin. It looks like it's worth nearly double a regular sovereign. Good for you, dude. That's pretty cool. That's the nice thing about sovereigns and older coins and buying some of that stuff that you can buy at reasonable levels, is you can buy a little bit of history and a little bit of collectability there as well. But trust me, when prices of gold just start to skyrocket, collectability flies right out the window. I remember in 1980, we were melting some crazy stuff, man. We were melting Cartier, we were melting Tiffany stuff, you name it, man. Some great stuff too. Maybe even some of it unknowingly. But rare and expensive stuff. But think about it, especially with silver. Comparatively speaking, when we just looked at the a chart comparing silver adjusted for inflation was $132. Wow, that's huge, man. What am I charging for silver rounds and 1 ounces? I think I've been beating JM Bullion, and I think JM Bullion's got some pretty good deals on Buffaloes, and we've been beating their price here locally. So if your local dealer, Kim, can beat that price, that's a good deal. So that's about what we've been charging that, or a little bit less. So we have been beating the Walmart of precious metals, which is JM Bullion. All right, Kim, I hope that helps you. Endorian National says, how can online deals like SD Bullion sell pre-33 gold as more knows as BU, yet they all have scratches there? Good question, Endorian. I'll answer that for you. Let me have a sip here. Ready? Okay. The reason is because BU doesn't mean that you can't have scratches. You can have scratches and I guess you can call dirt on a BU coin. I'm not quite sure when you say dirt what you mean, but discoloration perhaps. And you can have dirt in the crevices too, but BU simply means brilliant uncirculated. It means that the coin hasn't been circulated around. When we grade coins, we don't look at the scratches are only important to determine how BU the coin is. So a coin that is brilliant uncirculated can have 6,000 scratches on it. That would be what we would call a uncirculated MS60. A coin with no scratches perfectly struck would be an MS70. So believe it or not, there is 10 different numeric designations of BU for, and I know it's confusing, but MS63 would indicate a middle of the road, lower end BU coin. MS70 be would perfect and priceless in some degree if that indeed was really a perfect coin. But anyway, I hope that helps. And black specks, they're not really mold. That's not mold. That's just like tarnish. Don't worry about it. Leave it alone. It's completely natural on coins. You want to avoid black specks when you're buying BU coins. And gold pieces get the red spots, but no less, it's a natural process of metal to turn colors like that. So just leave it the hell alone and don't stress about it too much. The bus to Brian's is starting the Metro Detroit. That's pretty clever. And you're right, dollar strength against other currencies, and that is exactly it. Dollar strength doesn't necessarily mean the dollar's buying more, it just means it's stronger compared to the other dogs in the yard. And yep, you're right there. Nicole says the price will remain where it does until it doesn't. And then it will be too late. What does that mean? What is your prediction? My prediction, when the time comes, you won't measure the value of silver and Federal Reserve notes. Oh, interesting. I love seeing you guys talk amongst yourselves. My posters are the most intelligent on YouTube. All right, well, I believe that. Wellco, yep, that's true. Colin says the Fed can't let silver and gold prices go up. They risk losing dollars of reserve currency. They will monkey hammer until the dollar actually collapses and silver will be worth infinity dollars. Very well true, but never underestimate the monkey hammers or the people that can print money, sir. Johnny says money metals exchange is B. Yeah. I think I said Heine F. Idaho. Yeah, I get it. Inflation. I said itchy balls too earlier. Inflation is tax increase without a vote. Yep, and I'm digging you too, Tim. What's up, dude? Joey says soaring gas prices, soaring. Yeah, I think we're into an area of accelerated inflation like the 1980s. If that's the case, we're going to see precious metals at crazy prices as well. Hey, listen, folks, appreciate you tolerating me here. I shouldn't say that. Appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you subscribing, liking, and sharing my channel. And as I always say, this is my theme for the year. Think for yourself and question authority. I'm going to keep it short. If you want to know what I really think that means, watch yesterday's video and the last 100 videos. Hey, thanks. Have a great evening. And this is Brian Kuzma with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. If you live in South Florida, we're the people to come to and buy your precious metals and sell your precious metal to, as well as the rare coins and other cool things too. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. There's our phone number right there. If you don't live in South Florida, hey, listen, keep that money local. As much as I like SD, Bullion, APMEX, and JM, and I think they're legit companies, I'd rather see you buy local, keep that money in your community. But no less, if you don't live in South Florida, I can't ship to you. So again, find a good local dealer. Hey, have a great evening. Talk to you later, and bye now.